Woohoo! Aloha, everyone. We figured because we're already ready, we just go ahead and pop on early because then we can say our hellos to you instead of just typing them. Though you'll also see us kind of turning and typing too. Hi, Lisa. My Aunt Lisa's on. Yay. Awesome. It's so great to see everybody from all over the world too. That's, I think, something that I just think is so neat, that we we have folks joining us from Japan, and I know it's early in the morning. Thank you so much. Folks joining us from Europe and in the UK. It's nighttime for you guys. Thank you guys for spending your night with us. Today, I'm really excited. This particular song is one of my absolute favorites, and I'm sure for many of you, this song is a big favorite. The one we're going to work on today. So we're working on the tune "In My Life," and that's this song. What we're basically doing today, and I'll say this a couple more times, is we're going to kind of show you different ways that you can utilize stuff that we've been teaching on these live streams, so that you can actually use it in a song. And this is going to be our sample song that we're going to use. And then there's going to be an updated version of the packet, because Craig came up with some really great ideas after we already made the packet live. So he's going to cover some of those during the live stream. And then we'll just send you guys a packet since we have your emails because you've purchased a packet. If you haven't already purchased a packet, it's not necessary because we do show everything on screen. However, if you do want to support our live streams and if you do want to support our live streams, you can go to our website. It's actually listed underneath me, the craigandsarah.com/live, where you can purchase your packet so you can have the materials in front of you. Also, when you purchase a packet, that means that you get the updated version when we end up needing to update it. Now, if you can't afford a packet at this time, which we totally understand, just send us an email and we'll make sure to get one to you. I'm going to be checking my email throughout this Q&A slash Q&A slash just talk story, I guess, is what we're doing right now since we're on early.
Again, one of the most amazing things is we have that kind of pay it forward diaper package.
Oh, yeah.
That you can get, and that has been such a success in the past year and a half of doing these.
Yeah.
And with the diaper package, it really started out as a way to help with diapers for our little baby.
That was how it started, yes.
And we tried to stuff it with as much things as we can. So for this one we have backing tracks. I'm going to be recording a play along video for the chord melody.
Yeah, right after today's
and with the full
session.
chord melody arrangement, I think is in there too.
The full, yeah. So today we only have enough time to really cover the A section. So if you want to have the whole chord melody, that's in the Diaper Club package, and you'll get a playthrough that Craig's going to actually do for you that's a separate from this live stream.
But, a thought behind that too is that we're paying it forward for those who purchase that, for people who can't, splurge on a packet right now, because a lot of people are still out of work. A lot of people are still, this has been just a crazy time, and I love that the ukulele community is coming together for these things. So thank you again so much for your support and supporting others, and being able to make this all work. It's been tricky and scary, and trying new things is always it takes some time, and I think we found our rhythm with everything, but we're gonna shift gears a bit in 2022. So again, for those of you who don't know, we moved from San Diego back home for me to Hawaii this past year, and one of the things that we really want to do come 2022 is feature a bunch of local artists that never had the opportunity to travel and share their music with others. We want to still be doing these free live workshops, but we'll also have some events where we're going to do some really, really fun activities with some of our ukulele friends here in Hawaii, and possibly remotely as well.
Yes, we're very excited about some of the plans we have.
Lots of plans coming up, and we can't wait. And we're going to have opportunities to have the community kind of come together and build that together. So we're really excited. So we'll definitely keep you guys in the loop. If you haven't already, please sign up for our mailing list. We promise not to spam you guys with a bunch of emails. Usually it's like once a month.
We try to do like once a month. If there's like, sometimes I have to send it out twice if there's a correction that I've had to make or something.
And
So
I
we
should
do.
flip our thing so it looks like I'm looking at you. Let me do.
But the oh, and Diane's there. Hi, Diane. It's good to see you. Thank you for
Oh,
joining us today.
there we go. Now it looks like I can do this. Woohoo!
Hi.
All right. So, oh, Diane. Yeah. See, there's so many. Like, there's gonna be a big collaboration with Diane in January that we'll tell much more information about later on. There's
Yes.
just so many great things.
And also for our artist work students, we're also working on, we're going to start our first one in October. But those of you guys who are joining us with our online ukulele school, we are going to have a once a month get together where we're going to have sort of mini lessons from our friends here in Hawaii. Our first one, I believe, is going to be with Herbota Jr. So we're really excited about that. I think we had a meeting with him, I think yesterday or the day before. So we just like nailed down the date. So we're going to post that.
Well, it's not just
soon.
a lesson. It's actually we're doing a Zoom,
Yeah.
a monthly Zoom with our artist work students. I
So
don't
you
think
can
we
actually
told you
ask
guys yet.
questions.
So you can actually like interact like live for
Yeah. It'll be really
it's
cool.
gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm just
Yeah.
really excited. Now here's where you guys can really help create this for you as well. If there are things that you want to learn more about in workshops or in other live streams, email us.
Now, we do have some folks who have emailed us, and we actually have a running list.
Yes.
So it's like we do listen, and also we know that we have a donations link for if people they don't really want to buy a packet, but they just want to help our endeavors. You can also give in that way, but there's a form you can fill out where we ask for suggestions via that as well. And again, we have what's it called? We have everything written out for when you guys make suggestions.
Yes, I mean, so again, like if there are certain techniques or certain songs, like these are the things that we would love to again kind of create these live streams and workshops with those goals in mind. We had such a special virtual retreat event recently with
Oh my
Jake and
And
Herb.
Herb.
That was so special. That was like for the first time the virtual event felt like we were in person to a certain extent.
Well,
it was
like,
really nice.
Yeah, it was really neat, and I loved that we were in on all of our workshops with each other, which was really cool because then we got to learn too, but we also got to ask questions, and it was a really intimate setting, and Jake is still talking about it. He was like, I had such a good time.
Yeah, so we're trying to create opportunities for that as well, and there was a reason why we kept that with a hard cutoff because there's some events where you try to people try to stuff as many people into like one room as possible, and
Yeah, no.
even virtually, like with that kind of retreat setting, we want to make sure it felt intimate.
Yeah, that was important.
Yeah, so that worked out really well. So keep your eyes open for more things like that in the future.
And I just want to say a quick shout out to Busy Carol, who
Yes,
is
she
always
did
so
great.
incredibly helpful. She was an MVP for sure during the virtual retreat. And also Robin, too. Thank you so much, Robin, for also being just so helpful during that retreat.
Yes. Oh, someone is asking where you got your top from.
This is actually a dress. It's a maternity dress, believe it or not, actually, that I can still wear. I love it. It's super comfy. And I got it at Motherhood.
But if you're asking about my shirt, this was like a whole
Amazon.
like $8.25 at Amazon. No, for for this past year, like I didn't want to bother with like I left a lot of clothes up in San Diego when we moved down, and so I wanted something just uniform, like T-shirts of the same brand, that's really cheap, that different colors and everything too. That just made it easier for the time being. But yeah, so we there are. Yeah. Well, this will also be we will be unveiling our outdoor studio sometime soon too.
We'll see. It's almost done. It needs
Yeah.
gutters.
Yeah, we're excited about that. So it actually looks like we're in Hawaii, so that'll be a
Aw,
ton of
Jill,
fun.
Gary, we miss you guys
Oh,
too. I was actually talking to Craig about how I do love Hawaii. Do not get me wrong, but there are some things I really miss about San
yeah.
Diego. A lot of it does revolve around food, but also friends as well.
Oh, Chris Miller, always great to see you as well. This is
Chris, give Ellen a big
fantastic.
hug from us. Tell her happy birthday.
Oh my gosh, Los Angeles. I wonder if Andrew Molina already played in LA?
I don't think so. I think he might be playing tonight. I
Ooh,
thought I saw Mitch Chang post
that'll be
about
fun.
it. Yeah, so Andrew, if you're in LA, look up because Andrew Molina's in town.
So, Aunt Lisa, the reason why I have to go boring is that I don't want to steal the spotlight from
Oh my
Sarah.
gosh.
Oh my gosh. But thank you guys so much for joining us. We have about 5 minutes before we officially start.
Yes.
You can still grab your packets if you like at
And if you're having any-
craigandsarah.com/live.
Yeah, and if you're having any trouble with your packet, you can send us an email because you only have 24 hours to download it. So if you miss that deadline, or if you're like it's just not working, just send us a quick note. I have my email up, and I'll be checking it periodically through the live stream just in case.
And we always do get emails that, if you end up liking the chord melody stuff a lot more and you want all those extras, you can upgrade your packet if you already bought the base packet. Just let us know. Send us an email.
Yeah.
6 weeks to Hawaii. Chris, that's great. Definitely keep us
Yes.
updated on that.
Yeah, our numbers are going down here. Yay! It got
and
really
speaking
scary.
of that,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
seeing a little bit more of a jump. So we have 2 retreats in Hawaii in March back to back.
2022.
2022. And that is starting to fill up now that numbers are finally going back down again. But we do have a hard cutoff on those as well, just to make sure that, again, we want to keep it intimate. We want to get to know you guys. And we'll be joined with Neil Chin on that. That's going to be a ton of fun. And Milo on bass.
Yes.
But we have more information that at craigandsarah.com.
And Rebecca, that's awesome that you were able to work out with the duet for piano forte with
Oh, nice.
Jake's workshop that we did this past year. That's really, really cool. We love hearing that. And we love hearing when you guys actually utilize the things that you learned, because
Yeah.
it's just, it feels good to us knowing as teachers that we're giving you the tools that you need in order to be able to do the things that you want to do musically. And so that's very cool that your ukulele teacher was impressed that you guys were able to pull off piano forte. That's very cool.
And we have a 30-day challenge coming up too with our Artist Work students.
That's right,
for
Artist Work
Halloween.
students. We
That's
filmed
right.
it already. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to make you play in minor keys. It's going to be a very, very fun one for our Halloween challenge.
Oh, that's great. All right, so yeah, definitely. If again, these live streams are for all y'all out there. So again, if there's things that you guys really want to learn, definitely send us a note, and we'll start preparing for that for next year's kind of schedule. I feel like we finally are planning stuff how we usually have been before the pandemic, which was like a year in advance.
Yeah,
And all that.
we're doing
so
our best.
Now we're finally kind of keeping up. Where before it's like, next week, what are we doing? Next month.
Yes.
The pandemic is really tricky.
And then there was one other thing, but now I'm forgetting what it was going to be. Shula. Oh, well. These things happen.
Oh, hi, Holly.
Yay. Well, it's very cool that we're getting to see all of you guys today. Thank you for coming and spending part of your Saturday with us. We are just really excited about today's live stream. This is a song that we've been working on actually for a little chunk of time, and we thought that we would go ahead and share some of the things that we've done with you guys with this song, but there's so much more that can be done. That's the cool thing about music, right? The main takeaway from today's workshop is really going to be how to utilize some of the things that we've been teaching you for, the past X amount of time, because we've actually been doing these live streams since 2018. If you go back and watch like some of our first ones, woo, we thought we were doing so good. And I go back and I'm like, oh my God. But there's still lots of great information in those older live streams too. So you can always check them out with our YouTube channel and go backwards in time. See when we announced when we were going to have a baby. That was a fun live stream. I think
yeah.
that was a Father's Day one where we played kid songs. And then somebody won a baby ukulele, the one from Ohana. But anyway, this one though, we're going to kind of take you through and show you, oh, here's where you could apply your hammer-ons. Oh, here's where you could apply, this picking pattern, etc. That way you can kind of see how to use some of those different things that you've learned from all over, because we aren't the only one who've been live streaming. So hopefully you'll be able to kind of go, oh, I could use this here, etc. And we'll also talk, of course, some about chord substitutions, because I just love talking about that. So I think it'll be pretty cool.
Aloha, you guys.
Oh, Diane, Diane says she misses the cooking series. Our kitchen's pretty small now. Our other kitchen was much larger, but who knows? Maybe we can always do a couple of cooking with Uke segments, because that was pretty fun. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, aloha.
I'm gonna check my email just in case anybody needs
Ontario,
help.
aloha, Judy, Rebecca, Felicia,
good.
Ruth. Oh, great to see you. Linda, thank you guys so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
We'll start in just 2 minutes. We have or see more people jump on
Yep.
at the official 9 o'clock.
Yes, so the one where we made vegetarian ramen, I went through this phase where I was making like all kinds of vegetarian ramen, because I was like, I can't get good vegetarian broths, and so I ended up I jokingly call it like a quest, and I ended up sharing. This was like several years ago. I ended up sharing one of my favorite recipes. So that is on our YouTube channel, Cooking with You. Craig does the spam and egg musubi. So there's a spam and egg musubi, and then there's just the egg musubi that he does, and his are really, really good. So I recommend his recipe.
All right, so let's take a minute, make sure you're tuned up, because we're actually going to start off with some playing together. So make sure you're tuned up.
Let me actually make sure I'm tuned up. Shoot. Let's see, I'm still muted, so that's good. Though people will still be able to hear me tuning up. Well, I'm glad everything is looking and sounding good out there. That's fantastic.
We're not at Diane, Nalini, and Adrian, like production, but we're getting there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes.
But yeah, so huge plans for next year. We want to feature and introduce some amazing talent here in Hawaii, and just have a lot of more entertaining things, because we love the workshops. Don't get us wrong. We love the workshops, but we have some other fun things that we want to do as well, which I think is going to be great.
I agree. I think it's going to be really neat, some of the different ideas and things that we've got for you folks. So, all right, let's get started. I believe I am all set as far as my tuning. Let me double check. Okay, so we're going to be working on Song in My Life, but it would be great if we actually played it a little bit, right? So what we're going to do is we're not actually going to play it in the same way that it's done on the record, just because I want us to go through the chord changes. What we're going to do is we're going to play the intro, then that A section, the B section, and then we'll repeat the whole thing again, okay? So underneath, I actually wrote like what the originals format was, because they did like a half intro and then there was the solo section, but we're just going to go through and play it twice, just how it is written on this, and I'll try to call things out too. And also Greg, the wee chi, who isn't quite so wee anymore, he is doing great. He is actually at the park with his grandma. He is having a fantastic time, I know, going up and down. He's going to give us a heart attack. He's a climber. So he's already trying to climb on the bars and whoo. So, but he's with grandma today. All right. Alrighty. And I'll just sing that little part, or maybe Craig will play the actual intro.
So again, this is the bass version that we're going to, spice up.
Yes, this is very, very very bass version. We're in 4/4 time. Each box is a measure. So if you see one chord in a square, it's 4 beats. If you see 2 chords in a square, they're each 2 beats. 2, 3, 4. Bum. G7. C. G7. Here we go, A section. There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better, some have gone, and some remain. B section. All these places have their moments. B flat with people and or lovers and friends. C. I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living in my life. C. I love them all. Let's go to the intro. Back to the A. But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one compares with you. And as memories lose their meaning, when I think of love as something new. B section. Oh, I know I'll never lose affection. B flat. Of people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them in my life. I love them all, or love you more. The intro. One more time, intro. Do, 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 do. And we'll end on C. Yay! I liked some of the fairy dusting you were doing over there, Mr. Craig. That's awesome. So, this is our bass song that we're going to be working with. And when you're going to cover a song, you don't have to do it the way that the original did. It's good to know and to spend time working on that so that you know what the original is like inside and out. I think that is very important, but you don't have to play it exactly like it. So in the very original version of it, you have your intro, you have the A and the B, then you have a half intro, then the A and the B, and then the solo, which is over the A section, and then you have the B section, and then the intro is used to end the song. So for us today, it actually was just fine going through and doing that full intro before doing the repeat. It was, just fine. And if that's how you want to do it, you certainly can. But moving forward, chord substitutions and additions. I'm going to work on the A section right now. So with this, I find that sometimes I like using, instead of E minor, playing E minor 7 might be nice. It's easier to get to, and also it is, it still sounds beautiful, and it makes a great substitution for any time there's an E minor. Sometimes you might find your ear prefers the sound of the standard E minor, and that's totally fine. But just know that you could change out any minor chord with its minor 7 counterpart, and it'll generally sound nice, even with your neighbor. We talked about that in our chord substitution live stream a few months ago. And you'll notice for the A minor is super easy. A minor 7's even easier because it's all open strings, right? So you could also replace that as well. C7 I did leave alone. However, when you do have dominant 7 chords, you could possibly make it a dominant 9 chord, which sounds terrifying, but it's not too bad. If I wanted to do that, I could play C9. I don't like it necessarily in this song's context, but that's what C9 looks like. It's C7 with a buddy, basically. And so for me, in this song, I didn't like how the C9 sounded, which is why I didn't use it, but you could use it if you liked it. Then you'll notice that I also switched out that F minor, and I made it an F minor 7 instead. But there's actually something I want to show you guys that not everybody thinks about. Can we do a close-up of my hand for a second? So, in looking at this, let me do a quick whoop on my fretboard. There we go. So, going from F, there we go. Going from F to F minor, I find some people tend to do a big switcheroo like that, right? But I find for myself, if I know it's a quick movement, I'll do F, and I'll actually take my middle and scoot it down and then add my pinky. It looks weird, but I find that this, again, F, and then I just scoot that finger down and add my pinky. Because remember, he doesn't have to go like all the way back here. As long as I'm next to that, just behind that fret, I can totally make that move, and it's super easy. Like that, instead of doing and flipping everyone around like that, okay? Thanks, Craig. So, there's that. But F minor 7, I will have to do a little bit of a switcheroo. So if I have F to F minor 7, it's 1 3 1 3. I just love the sound of this chord. It's just a really gorgeous sound, and that's why I like playing this. You could take it one step further in this section, though I feel like it might be too much for this particular song, but we'll use it. Actually, you know what? I'll talk about that later, because we'll use what I'm thinking about for the B section. So don't worry about it right now. So let's go through and play this new. We're gonna play this guy. I want us to play that top line and then the line below it. And maybe, does it make more sense, Craig, to actually have it be a close-up of my hand as I play through it?
Sure.
So, okay. So I'll have it so that we've got a close-up of my hand, and we'll be set there. And I'll do a quick little adjustment. There we go. So I'm just gonna strum down strums. Get your C ready. 1, 2, 3. There are places I remember, C7, all my life. Though C, I forgot to add that, but all right, go to the next line. Ba-da-da-da, E minor 7, A minor 7, C7, and then F, F minor 7, and C, just to end on C. So hopefully you can hear that difference. Let's do it one more time. And this time we'll just leave our view here. 1, 2, 3. We have C, E minor, A minor, C7 to F, F minor, and then the C that's not written there. And then we'll do C again. C, E minor, 7, A minor, C7, and then F, F minor 7, and C. You could use both versions if you're like, oh, I like how that sounds, but when we go through and actually utilize all the chords, I'm going to end up doing all of these substitutions in it. So, Craig, did you have something? Okay, he was picking up his uke, that's why. So, there are some substitutions that I generally don't do. Like, I'd probably play a regular A minor instead of the A minor 7, but I just like using this example so you can hear that you could totally play it and it would be just fine. One other substitution you could do, but I don't know if I like it as much for the song, but again, you could do it, is instead of F, you could play F6, which looks like this. Now, one benefit of playing F6 instead is that your pinky actually is already in place for the F minor 7. So if you like having this note stay the whole time, so You could play F6 instead, but again, that's actually just personal preference. Major 6 chords always sound nice with your neighbor, so you could play F6 and your neighbor could play F, and it would totally sound lovely. So just keep that in mind for those of you that are playing with other folks these days. Okay, how's everybody feeling? We doing good? Let's keep moving forward then. Let's look at the B section now. So this one, I like adding movement when I can. And sometimes, though this doesn't always work, sometimes I like, especially if I'm on a minor chord for a while, if I can make like a minor walk down happen, I'll do it. And so in this one, I actually have the A minor, and then I have us playing a chord that has a terrifying name, A minor major 7. All you're doing is just going down to the 1st fret. Right? So it's just, right? That's it for that B section. And then you have F for 4 beats. And then instead of playing a regular B flat, because some people have trouble with just the full B flat, right? You can just remove your ring finger, have that open G string, and you're playing B flat 6. It's a more complex chord because it has 4 completely different notes versus a B flat, which has only 3 notes in it. It's easier to play. And I love it because it moves up to C really nicely. So I have B flat 6, and then I can move it up 2 frets to the 3rd fret. That's why there's a red 3 listed. So I love that, going and then moving the whole shape up. Now this sounds best on a high G uke. You can play it on a low G uke. Just be gentle with the G string so that it's not this like loud booming note.
Okay, I'm gonna do a quick thing on the F minor 7.
Woohoo!
All right, so for the F minor 7, again, we're gonna talk a little bit about hand position in the sense where if you have that wrist popping out, the F minor 7, these two guys want to lay across those strings. What we want to do is have these guys curl just like these two guys. So what we're going to do is bring this part of our hand closer in, so we'll straighten out that wrist again, that nice straight wrist where you can make a fist nice and easy compared to bending that wrist and making a fist. From here, we're just kind of letting our fingers naturally just kind of curl down into that shape. We'll start off with a diminished shape, 1 2 1 2, and again you see that nice curl here. Everything is really nice and nothing is stretched out, nothing is being strained. And from here, practice kind of pushing these two guys out a little bit so that you see that there is that nice curl that gives you a nice leverage point there. And again, I'm not putting excess pressure on my muscle here because again, we're just closing up these 4 fingers. And Steve had a really good point. When you're going from the F to the F minor, you can also bring the pinky down early and use that as a pivot point or leverage point so that you can flip these two guys pretty quickly. Now there's something to be said about keeping that index down because you don't have that finger coming off. You don't get that accidental pull off sometimes. So that could be the cleanest way by just sliding everything down like what Sarah was doing. But again, this is a really nice, easy way to transition from that F to F minor. And even the F minor 7, using that pinky as that leverage point as well.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, so we've gone through the first line of the B section. Let's take a look at the second line. It's very similar. We have A minor major 7. And then D7, I chose Hawaiian D7, but you could do the bar D7. It doesn't matter to me. The only thing I would recommend, however, is that no matter which one you choose, I would recommend using your middle finger if you're doing the barred D7 because you're going from, and that middle finger is available. You could slide him down and do your index, but especially because, as Craig likes to point out, your middle finger is the longest finger, so why not use him to bar because you just have more surface area to play with. And then you're not The other thing too that happens when you use your index is you're curling up this longest finger, and that can sometimes be uncomfortable. So just making sure that if you're using your middle, I'm going to move my index down so you can see better. Yeah, that again, this for me is more comfortable than doing that. Now, sometimes you need to use your index for barring. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you have to only use that, but especially going from A minor to D7. And same with, I would use my middle finger still on the G string if I'm doing the Hawaiian D7 as well. So there's that. And then going to the F minor 7. This measure originally only had F minor listed, but I like having F minor 7, and then take your ring finger and move it down in pitch just 1 fret. And you're now playing F minor 6, and it's such a beautiful transition. And it leads nicely to the C. That's what's happening, the chordal movement that's going on there. So you're having that happening on that string. Now, some people will actually play F minor 7 where they bar it, which you may totally do. For me, this is really uncomfortable, but some folks, this is more comfortable for them. So I'm barring that F minor 7. I have this here, and you can either move a finger, or since I have another finger available, I'd probably put that finger down and then do that, and just my ring finger goes away. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I prefer having all 4 fingers because it allows me to jump to other chord shapes much more easily if I need to. And then C, my pinky's already there, so I don't have to worry about anything on that one. Okay, so let's go through and play this guy, and I'll talk about the low G thing in a second, the thing that's in yellow. But let's go through and just play this for right now. And if I could do a close-up of my hands this playthrough, and then we'll do that. There we go. Boop. Okay, get your A minors ready. 3. A minor, major 7, and then F. B flat 6, move it up 2 frets to a C up here. A minor with the major, pick your D7, F minor in my, move it down, I love you more, right? So, not too bad. Let's do it one more time. 2, 3. Oh, I know I'll never lose affection for people and things. Move it up. That went before A minor. I know I'll often stop and think about D7, F minor 7, and then the 6. C, I love them all. There we go. So these substitutions really aren't that crazy difficult, and I think the hardest thing is that getting to F minor 7, I think, is the hardest part of this. And in your practice, one thing that Craig and I talk a lot about is just practicing transitions. So let's say going from D7 to F minor 7 gives you trouble. Hold your D7. You don't even have to play. D7, F minor 7. And notice what I did there. I actually put my pinky down first and then put everyone around it. You know, D7. And I actually could put these 2 fingers, actually, is it this way? Yeah. So I could actually put 2 fingers down if I wanted. I could do this, and then, does this remind you of something? Maybe a spider exercise that Craig has talked about, where I have my 1 and 4, I put them down, and then swap these 2, right? And you can just go back and forth with that, doing here, put these down, here. Whoops, I went too far. Here, down, right? And just going through these motions without even strumming, and doing that, let's say, for a full minute, will feel like the longest minute of your life, but your muscle memory will really start to get attuned, and then try to play the song shortly after or just the B section, and you'll find that you can actually make that transition a little bit easier every day that you actually use that. Maybe as your warm-up exercise, you're like, okay, my warm-up exercise is going to be going from D7 to F minor 7, D7, F minor 7, D7, F minor 7, back and forth, back and forth. And doing that for a little bit, you'll find that, again, you'll be able to make your transitions a lot easier than if you were to just play through the whole song and mess up at that part every time, right? Spend some time just on that little section. Now, this walk down thing, if you have a low G or walk up, you could, before, and it's going to sound funny on this uke because I actually don't have an instrument strung low G right now, but you could do a walk up like that at the beginning of the section. So I could do, oh, I know I'll never lose affection. And same underneath, while you're singing the pickup. And I would probably just use this, I could do my index, I guess, if I wanted to. Now, the reason why I point this out is when Craig and I actually go to perform this song, I am playing our Barry tenor uke, which is the reentrant baritone tuning. I have a low G string on there, and I actually am playing that on that string. Oh, I know I'll never lose affection, etc. So that's something that you can totally add, and that is a walking up to our A minor that you can add. And it sounds better on low G than it does on this high G. So there you go, low G, folks. I'm surprised Craig hasn't spoken up yet, but that's all right. So continuing forward, let's look at the intro real quick. And I'm just going to show you the very sort of baseline, super easy introduction here. And then we'll go through and play our song, and then Craig's going to take us on an even more fun journey. So I have the tab actually written underneath. So what I'm going to have us do is you're going to play an open E string, play the full C chord, and then you're going to play the E. You can either hammer on the first fret, or you could just pluck the note. It doesn't matter to me. Craig will make you do specific things, but for me, right now, it doesn't matter. And if you have a high G, you can play an open G, or if you play low G, you could play the third fret for the same note. Okay, so that again was open E, C chord, open E, first fret, open G, and then a G7. 2, 3, it repeats, open E, C, open G, or, and use that third fret of the E string. Okay, let's try it a couple more times. 1, and it doesn't matter what fingers you pick with, I'm not caring right now. Just the main thing is get the notes out. 1, 2, 3, 4, open E, open 1, open G7, 2, 3, again, open E, open 1 G, 2, 3, again, one more time, open E, C, da, da, da. I did the third fret that time, and then again with the open 2, 3, 4. Now, something that does happen in this song is you have some anticipatory things where a chord might actually come a hair earlier. And I find that with the G7, instead of, it kind of comes in like a half a beat early. The other time that you'll run into that too, that you'll hear Craig and I do that, and I'll do that actually this time, is on the C7. I actually come in a half a beat early for that. And I believe I have to double check. I don't know if the original does that too, but that's just something that for me, when I play it, that's something I feel that I like to do. So let's actually go through Give it a shot. If you want to just strum the intro chords, you can, while your neighbor plays the new fancy intro. Or you can just play the new fancy intro. I'll play the new fancy intro. Or do you want to play it, Craig? Okay.
It doesn't matter. You go.
1, 2, 3, 4. Open. Open 1, G7. 2, 3, 4. Open E. 2. The A section. There are places I remember. C7. There it is. F. All my life. Minor 7. Though some have changed, some forever. E minor 7. Not for better. C7. Some have gone. F minor 7. Though C have changed. And A minor. Oh, I know I'll never lose affection. B flat 6 for people and things. Move it up to the next. The wind before. A minor. I know I'll often stop and think about D7. F in my life. Back to C. Do the intro. Here we go. Two, 3, 4. 2. Back to the A. But of all these friends and lovers, C7, there is no one. F minor 7 compares with you, and his memories, E minor, lose their meaning. When I think of love, F minor 7, as something new, oh, I know I'll never lose affection. B flat 6 of people and things, or love, yeah, that's right, to the C 3rd fret. I know I'll often stop and think about D7. F minor, minor 6, and back to C. Let's end with the intro with the E. Open 1, open G7. That half a beat early makes a difference. Open C, da 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 da, and we'll end on the C. Yay!
Can you
Nice.
go over the timing of the intro for Rebecca?
Okay, I'm gonna try really hard to count and play at the same time. Now, in the packet, actually, hold on. In the packet, you actually have right here the timing written out, where I have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, and again with 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So the G7 comes in on the and of 4. And so we actually have that in that chord melody arrangement that Craig has got for us. So that is an excellent question. Thank you so much for asking. And this is also so you know you have the reference too, as far as
the
the
box
timing.
chart wasn't. I mean, the one that was shown earlier is just that's you want to come in on the
Yes.
end of the 4, not on the.
Yes, and the
exclamation.
same with that A minor to C7. A minor to C7, what I'm doing there is I'm playing 1 and, sorry, let me actually start from the A section. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So in that A minor to C7, I'm playing on the and of 2 in order to be able to get what I hear in my head, what I want to have happening in this song. And those are the only 2 places where the timing gets monkeyed with a little bit for me. But you could, as we did earlier, I made sure I played it straight so that you could hear it with it that way. But I just really like how it sounds when you're sort of anticipating that next chord and going ahead and playing it a hair early. Yay! Nice. Yeah. And the other thing too with this is I know that with how I have the tablature and stuff written out, that it's not like perfectly notated, but that's also why I made sure that we do actually have like the music notation later in this as well. So thank you guys so much. I love it when people ask about that. What's the timing of that again? Sweet. How's everybody feeling? Does it feel good? It sounds just a little bit different from the original that we started with. I feel like it's a little bit more complex. But I think we're ready to hand everything off to Craig to take us.
A quick question from Holly about
Yes.
if we played an F9 over the F. I think someone else brought it up earlier.
So you could play an F add 9. And in fact, in the Diaper Club package, I have a baritone version of it. And in the baritone version, I actually do have us playing an F add 9 because I really like how that sounds. On your uke, if you want to play F add 9, it's open, open, 1, open. Baritone, it's actually a C add 9, excuse me, that you're playing on baritone because it's the same shape. But you could actually play this while your partner plays a regular F. It'll sound lovely.
Yeah, so if you're in context and I've had 9. So again, it's a very small change, but especially high G, it sounds beautiful. The playing that shape with a low G is not gonna sound the same because that low note, being that 9 note, is a little difficult. So I wouldn't on a low G. It probably wouldn't.
It doesn't sound quite as nice, and also technically you shouldn't do it because the 9th should not be the lowest note in your chord. However, because it's ukulele, you can sometimes get away with it, but it sounds more, the harmonies are tighter on the high G.
Yeah, that's more like a add 2, right? The low G, right? Because that's like the...
Well, you still call it add 9, but yeah.
All right, so let's go and again, for those of you who are not used to chord melody just yet, this is going to be a ton of fun, and it's not that bad. And again, you can spice this up even more, but we're going to kind of introduce the A section. If you want to scroll to that, sir.
Okay. Are we going to go over the intros versions you've got, or do you want to just do the A section first?
Yeah, we'll do the intro first, actually.
Okay.
So far we had Sarah went over the E string to the C note, 3rd fret on the A. E string again, hammer on, and that open G. And I love that sound. So this is especially high G, it works really well. You could do a double hammer on if you're playing low G, open 1, 3. But I'm gonna stick to the high G version. So we have.
And instead of playing the full chord, just playing that note on the A string. Because I made him play a full chord, yeah.
And then that G7. And for the G7, I'm not going to be doing a lot of strumming. I'm going to be doing a lot of this kind of harp roll that we talked about in other workshops, where there's a difference between a strum and that nice kind of harp emulation that we're doing here. And it's such a beautiful technique to have under your belt. This is definitely another showcase of why we want to practice that and get that down. And again, it's pretty much just doing one string at a time with the G, C, E, A on the way down. So we have.
Nice.
Now, we can make it a little bit fancier. We're going to alternate with that open G. So we can do. So again, this is going to be E, thumb on the G, to the C note, followed again by that thumb. So again, we talked about playing scales with that alternating G string, right? Things like that. Again, using it as a nice drone note. So again, it works perfectly in this section to that G7. So one more time, a little bit slower. I'm doing the open E, followed with the thumb to the C note. Then the E hammer, and then again thumb to the G7. So the first 4 notes is just E, thumb, C, thumb. So E string, and that C note on that A string. So it's gonna sound like this. One more time. Now, if we want that a little bit more full, we can add harmonies to that melody note. So this time we're going to use the 2 middle strings. We're going to pluck them open at the same time. And again, I'm going to alternate with my thumb on the G string. To the C note. So we're just adding the 2 strings in the beginning, followed thumb, to the A string, back to the thumb. And already you can hear how much more full that is. Now, we're going to walk this up. We're going to do the open. We're going to add 2 and 1 on those 2 middle strings. Middle finger on the 2nd fret of the C, index on the 1st fret of the E. Let me switch to this guy there. So we have the 2 middle strings, 2 and 1, slide up 2 frets, and then that G7. One more time. Open 2 middle strings, thumb to the A string, walk this up, middle strings, 2 and 1, 2 frets up to G7. Not too bad. So in context and in at speed a bit, it's gonna sound like this. 2, 3, 4. Now, if you want to keep consistent with those 2 strings, and because there is a tonal change when you get to the A string for the G7, one thing you could do is keep walking that up. Middle finger goes up 1 fret, and pinky will drop to the 7th fret of the E string. So it sounds like this. And it's much more consistent in that tone. But again, you lose a little bit of the full chord. But again, it's there's so many options and so many ways, and this is just a little inkling of things that we could do. See how it's super consistent. And so again, just different ways of thinking about the intent that you're doing. Yeah, and this was actually a big one that even watching Jake during the virtual retreat was talking about how many choices he makes on just a simple run, because things will change when you go from string to string, and it's just these little things were so amazing. But again, now thinking about all these different ways of playing the same thing will have different, not consequences, but different outcomes in what you're going for. But this is, again, these are the little things that really help you find your sound, because if you're deliberate about it, you're starting to hone in on what makes your playing.
They're saying it's hard to hear.
You. Oh, I'm sorry.
You're pulling a Jake maybe and
Yeah, maybe I'll
talking a little
adjust my mic
quieter.
a little bit. I know when I'm getting all serious, I get. All right, is that volume better? Checking 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. So let's do. So we have the intro a couple different ways. For me, if I'm playing this as a solo arrangement, I definitely want that 2 middle string version compared to the single note. But if I'm playing with Sarah, maybe I'll stick with the single notes because there's so much other things going on already too. So again, it depends on the context and what we're going for. And that's why a lot of times when we're on stage, we don't necessarily play things exactly the same all the time. It really kind of depends. Let's keep moving forward from there.
Okay.
All right.
And I'll zoom in when you're.
Yeah, zoom in on the A section, please. Oh, you didn't do this for the thing. Okay. You're missing the pickup, Sarah.
The pickup is up over here.
Yep, there we go. So, all right, so I'm going to start off actually barring the bottom two strings on that 3rd fret. We're just going to hit the 3 and 5 on the E string. Now for the downbeat on the A section, we're going to do a 0, 0, 3, 3, so that's why we have the bar, and we're going to do that harp roll, but we're going to add that hammer on to that 5th fret. So again, we're kind of combining different techniques. Because I could do, but it doesn't have the same almost voice-like feel when you have that hammer on. It's so different, right? So again, this is why we have to practice our hammer-ons and our pull-offs, because now, especially with the chord melody things, where we're trying to emulate a voice, this is going to be the best way of getting that compared to, right? It doesn't have the same effect as, it just, that nice, almost addition to that chord. Back to the 3. And again, we're not going to spend too much time dialing this in because you can watch the replay, you have the charts and everything. So from there, 0, 4, 3, 5, 0, 4, 3, 5. So all we're doing is adding the middle finger on the C string, the ring finger on the A string, and I can do a close-up on this as well. We'll move forward from here. So again, to start, E string, 3, 5. Now we're going to do the harp roll and have the hammer on. Back to the A string. Now 0, 4, 3, 5 to the 7. Good. Now 9, 9, 8, 10. It looks like a D minor 7 shape. See down here? But we're going to slide all the way so our middle finger is starting on the 9th fret. So it sounds just like that. And again, I'm going to use my little row here. And we're going to drop to, again, it looks like the F minor 7 shape, but on 5, 7, 5, 7. So from here, and again, what we're looking at in the transitions are what is staying consistent. My ring finger and pinky are staying on the same strings. So I'm sliding those two guys down and then dropping and flipping my index and middle. So that's how I want you guys to practice going from here. Keeping that ring and pinky on as we drop and putting those two guys down. And what's nice is that you're going to hear a little bit of that slide from that pinky and that ring. So it sounds, again, connected. Oop. Now, to emphasize that C7 chord, even though it's not part of the melody, I'm going to do a single note, or you can hit 3. I would do probably single. So it's going to sound like this. And again, that's going to line up nicely with whether you're doing it as a solo piece or with a group. Emphasizing that chord change, even though it's not in the melody. 5, 7. And again, I'm barring for that 5, 7 because I'm coming right back to the bar. So 7 to 5, I'm doing a pull off. I'm hitting the 7, pulling off the 5. Oh, sorry. Zoom out a little bit, Sarah. There's just way too much movement on that. It's driving me nuts. Okay, so 7 to 5 pull off. Now this shape looks like a D minor 7 again, but we're going to bring that pinky down to make it more like a D minor 6 shape. And we're going to go backwards with the high G to get that melody note that's on that G string. So from that bar, I love these backwards chords too because it doesn't hit as your ear expects it to. And it's such a nice way to get those melody notes. And hit the 4, 3 to 4, or 4 and 3, I'm sorry, in the middle strings.
And you'll see I crossed out an F chord that's highlighted. Just cross that out because that was a typo on the chart.
So from that 8th measure, 4 and 3, I'm going to slide with my pinky 5 to 7 while keeping my index down. So watch this, so that I can hit that full chord. Now, I could leave that middle finger down, but it sounds too similar. For example, it's going to sound like this if I kept my middle finger down, compared to, there's more almost finality to that by going down to that root of that chord. So that was the choice there. So going from 4 and 3 in the middle, 5 to 7 slide, and then take off the middle and a strum, or a harp strum. And again, we can utilize that open G if you want. A lot of these you can add that open G as texture. Okay, then repeats pretty much. So we have from that crossed off F. Oh Jesus!
Sorry.
The E minor. Back to that high D minor 7 shape. 5 7 5 7. Hitting that C7 note. 5 to 7, holding the bar. Fourth fret that we're already holding on the E string. So that it's pretty much the exact same arrangement for that first half and that second half. Alright, so let's try this again. Sorry for the focus. Let me actually just take it off automatic. There we go. That'll be a lot better. Alright, so let's go over the first section one more time. Alright, so we have 3 to 5 on the E string. Now we're going to practice this open, open, 3, 3 with the hammer. Drop to the 3. Close it up, 0, 4, 3, 5. To the 7. High D minor 7 shape. 5, 7, 5, 7. Hit the 6. We're going to preemptively hit the bar, 5 to 7. Bar, pull off to the F minor. So again, going backwards, and this is something you have to kind of practice too, because we tend to be a little bit more harsh on the ups compared to this nice to the E string, 4 and 3. Okay, let's go one more time. Second half, 3 to 5. Let's try one more time. So 3, 5. Then we're gonna hit the open, open 3, 3 with the hammer on. Good. Let's go from there. Again, we're keeping that bar and just adding these 2 fingers. Middle finger on the E string, ring finger on the A string. Good, one more time. Good, hit the 7. And then you keep that pinky down all the way to that dot. Let's try that chord again. Drop to 5, 7, 5, 7. Hit the 6. So again, that middle finger is the only one that's moving there. Preemptively bar, 5, 7. Full bar. 7 to 5 pull off. Getting to this shape. And that one is a little bit tricky. So that one is just a lot of practice going from that bar to there. I'm pretty much relying on my index to get there quickly and just kind of surrounding him really quick with my other fingers. Hitting the E string that we're already holding down. 4 and 3. Now let's practice that last lick one more time. And I'm using my pinky to hit that 5 to 7. So middle 2 strings. 5 to 7. Make sure you snap to that 7th fret. Now again, if that's too much of a stretch, get rid of that middle finger early. So that makes it a lot easier for that stretch. And then the full chord. All right, any big questions that I can help answer at the moment? Again, overall, it's not too bad of an arrangement. There's nothing like super, super crazy going on. I love that we have some hammer-ons that are filling up really nicely and some pull-ups that are, again, emulating a voice as if they were singing it. And again, we're playing around with some backwards voicings. And again, focusing on those transitions. Those are the big kind of key points in this, especially going from here. Again, keeping that pinky down. And actually, your index can slide up with your pinky since he's on the E string already. And sliding right back down. I love that there's that quick kind of starting all the way down here, going up and then back down. Again, that's one of the beautiful things about chord melody arrangements, is that you have this incredible movement that happens with all of the strings and all the harmonies that kind of go along with that. So again, going from 0, 4 or 0, 4, 3, 5 to 7. One more time. Slide that up. And see how small that movement really is from here. We keep thinking that that 10th fret is a ton of space away when, and actually it's just that far from that bass shape. Really, really small movements. And again, I know for if this is your first time kind of dabbling in chord melody, it kind of seems like a lot. I promise you, even just a few days working at this is going to start to come together really, really easily. Preemptively, that bar. Where am I?
You're on the F. Measure 7.
Measure 7. And again, getting to that chord. And we're already right there for that E string. But even that little guy there. It's those little licks that would really hone in on, you know, the kind of uniqueness of the ukulele as well, because everything is so tight. All the harmonies are incredibly tight.
And it helps you emphasize that melody note that's that G note, right? Because you're playing it on the E string first, but then you're playing it also on that G string.
Yeah, so again, we loved working on this. Any other questions besides that? And we'll play this all together. We'll play it through it slowly, and then we'll play it one more at speed.
Okay. Do you want me to play high G? Probably, yeah. So those that want to play.
Well, actually, no. You can go Barry. That's fine. So Sarah's gonna switch to our re-entrant baritone tuning.
Hopefully I don't mess it up. Let's see. Okay.
And again,
Let me
hopefully you
actually
guys
check my
have
tuning.
your charts printed out, but we'll show that again afterwards.
Let me just check my tuning real quick. 'Cause
And again, we'll also showcase a couple extra things that we can add to
Yeah.
this as well.
well, I mean, and all we did today was, besides the chord melody, of course, all we did was strum, but like, I probably wouldn't strum this song a ton. I'd probably use some picking patterns to really.
So we'll just go over the chord, the chord melody a little bit, and then we'll go through the whole song as a performance kind of thing.
Okay. Are you doing the intro?
Sure. 2, 3, 4. Go a little bit slower. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Two.
Actually, no. There we go.
2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 2, 3. Okay, so yeah, that's actually probably
yes, that's
at
the-
speed-ish.
That's the B
but-
section. Sorry. I
Yeah,
was just
let's
moving
do it
on.
one more time, a little bit slower than that.
Yep.
2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, it's a really, really nice, nothing too tricky besides some of those transitions, but again, these are great transitions to have under your belt regardless. Again, focusing on, if your hammer-ons aren't super clean, this is a good chance to kind of practice that.
Yup.
Think of it as putting like a cherry on top of a sundae, where you don't want it to, you don't want the hammer-on to be like, right? It's just that nice, addition. You don't want it to topple over, but it's still an accent piece.
Yep.
So again, a lot of options, and you'll hear me doing like a lot more of the using that open G.
And the other thing too, I also want to point out too, in the Diaper Club package, those of you baritone players who want to actually play harmony, like I was doing with Craig for the intro, I actually did include tab of that. You'll want to use the same rhythm that's written for the original, but that one, it's super simple. And actually, all I'm doing now, I have a high D on this one, so oh, you have the Diaper Club on your computer? Oh, never mind, sorry. Anyway, so I've got the first fret of the E of, well, it's not the E string, but first fret here, and then the open, or I could, it's very similar looking to the high G part, so it sounds like this. And then here with this chord, I'm actually throwing in the root note actually. And so instead of doing this string the way Craig is, I'm actually using that string. So I'll play it at full. And I actually do the harp. So that's what I'm doing there, and it's a harmony to what he is doing, just for those of you that are curious. And you can play like full-on baritone if you want, if you don't want to do the re-entrant tuning like we've got. But just a neat thing. Oh my gosh, is that Vinicius who's joining us? Hi, Vinicius. It's good to
Aw.
see you. Thanks for joining us today.
Great to see you.
Yeah, neat.
Oh, fantastic player and teacher as well.
I know. In Brazil.
Yes. All right, so we'll play it as if we were to play it, and we'll keep it at a pretty slower speed.
Okay, so, alrighty. If you can try to play along with us if you'd like. We're gonna do our arrangement, so it does mean we're gonna have a little bit of differences with intro and stuff. But just take a look. I think I hear little Cameron. Just take a look at the substitution chord page if you want to try to play along with us. Though we're gonna change up when the intro comes in and stuff like that. Alrighty. Let's see how we do.
2, 3, 4.
There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone and some remain. All these places have their moments with lovers and friends. I still can recall some are dead and some are living. In my life, I love them all. Sorry, Greg. But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one compares with you, and as memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. Oh, I know I'll never lose affection with lovers and friends. I still can recall some are dead and some are living. In my life, I love them all. In my life, I love you more. That was pretty. Thanks, Craig. That was fun. Sometimes when I switch between baritone and high G, I have a moment where my brain fries. So,
Awesome. But again, we cannot thank you guys enough for your support especially through this past year and a half. And again, we have some huge things coming in 2022. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that.
yep. And then the only thing I just wanted to point out with that is you'll probably notice that for most of that song, both you and I didn't really do a ton of strumming. You'll notice it was a lot of picking and being very choosy with what strings we picked for showing off when the chord changes happened. So thinking ahead when you're kind of doing picking and kind of going, oh, if I'm playing this chord and I'm moving from a minor chord to a dominant 7, I might make those choices of changing those strings that have that half step movement. And that's some of the choices we were making today. So think about that as you go through and play this song. There's some really beautiful movement that you can create.
Yeah, and again, as we have some incredible ukulele talent in the chat as well.
Yes.
We will be doing more features on other players and artists because that is so important for us to connect the community even more. And so if there are people you want to see more of, if there are songs that you want to learn more of, or other techniques, again, we are starting to build our workshop list for next year. So definitely let us know. We can't wait to keep pushing out with you guys, and we are very excited. Again, a special thank you to our Artist Work students. I think we're going on almost 7 years strong now, and it's been so amazing to see that school grow. But if you want to learn from us, that is the best way at the moment with that one-on-one kind of video exchanges as well.
And one person had a question. They were asking about what strings I was using on this uke. So this is baritone reentrant strings, but it's meant for a tenor scale. So I am playing a tenor ukulele. So you don't have to worry about getting a baritone. If you want to make a spare tenor, be this tuning. It's actually our custom set that we created with GHS. You can buy them through us on our website, craigandsarah.com. Just look for I think we call it bari tenor. That way you know it's baritone tuning on a tenor, reentrant baritone tuning on a tenor ukulele. If people want to have a low D version of this, you actually have to contact GHS directly. We don't have the low D. We only have the high D version.
And we might actually put together a low D set eventually, just to make it easier. Yeah. So we'll definitely keep you guys updated on that. And again, thank you for all of you who bought the diaper package as well, and helping keeping these events free, and even for the regular packet as well. We're trying to make sure we keep these things as accessible
and
as possible. So thank you guys so very much for your support and helping each other. I only usually put this up once, but if you do want to donate for the cause, this is your chance to do so here. But again, you guys have done so much to help support, so thank you guys so very much. Keep your eyes peeled for a Halloween jam that we'll be putting together. Hopefully we'll have some guest artists. Again, seeing how COVID numbers are and everything, we're trying to stay as safe as possible, but maybe we'll be able to do our outside area for that one. That might be kind of fun too.
It really is weather dependent, but yes. Yeah, if it's storming, we can't do it. If it's sprinkling, it's fine. But the storming, we have to be a little careful, of course.
Yes,
but thank you guys so much. This has been a really fun live stream. I love seeing everybody's comments in here. We miss getting to see you guys live and in person as well. Hopefully we'll be able to get to some of that again soon. I know for March we'll see some of you guys in March here in Hawaii for our retreats that we're doing that month. But thank you guys so much for your support. I am going to be sending out an updated packet that has the new versions of the intro that Craig went over today. I had the page shown on screen, but you'll actually have that page. Anybody who has purchased a packet, you will automatically be sent that update once I have gone through and just added it to the PDF.
And don't forget, I will be doing the play-along videos for the chord melody arrangements for the diaper packets as well later today. So we should have that up and running by tonight or tomorrow morning.
Yes, and it's the Diaper Club folks. The backing tracks are actually already in that Dropbox folder. Make sure to read. There's a special page you have in your packet that has the link so that you can click on it, and that's where the video is going to be, so that you can actually download it and have it on your machine.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so very much. We hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Be safe, be good. We love you guys. We'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.